Do you know what? Stuff getting worried about this Spurs team. I'm going to bring some energy. I'm sick and tired of feeling worried. I know the preseason didn't go as planned, but it is Spurs. It is the history of the Tottenham. And I'm actually buzzing. I'm buzzing for this blockbuster match, and I'm hoping we get a victory. Let's talk about this preview.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once again for the match preview for Chelsea versus Tottenham at Stamford Bridge. Blockbuster match for this particular game week. Do you know what? As the week started, I was a little bit worried. And obviously, off the back of that Everton game, we did not play well. We still got the 3 points, very important. I'm hoping as the weeks are progressing, we're using all of these games. This particular game against Spurs, this is still probably that preseason vibe for us because we didn't have a proper preseason. None of us players, took things seriously. But as the weeks are progressing, I'm hoping that our fitness levels look better, our match sharpness looks better, and hopefully some of the patterns of play will get better and better. And with new players hopefully coming in, it will only enhance the situation. Cucurella, he played against Everton, albeit for 10, 15 minutes, whatever the case was. I'm fully expecting him to participate for this particular match. And hopefully all the other brothers can slowly start waking up as well. There's a lot of people still in sleep mode, much like in your mobile phones. And they need to wake up and have the alarm set off. Look, I'm not going to take this Spurs team lightly. No way. This is not the same Spurs team that we played the last time, in that January sort of period earlier this year, 3 times in that month, space of in 1 month, and we beat them 3 out of 3. It was turbulent time for both us and Spurs, more so Spurs at that time, because at that point, I don't think we had the sanctions and whatnot going on. We had the sanctions come in a little bit later after that. Because I remember I went to Club World Cup and it was after that. So, however, since then though, and up until now, obviously we've gone through the sanctions, we had the ownership change. It's been extremely turbulent for us. All the Lukaku situation, this, that, the other, it was just messy. Spurs, on the other hand, they've been very seamless. They finished the season off strong last season. How they pipped Arsenal, it really should have been Arsenal's to get that 4th spot. But they managed to, pip them at the end and, did it with style. They ended up beating a lot of the teams and they beat Arsenal to get to that 4th spot. And since then, their transfer window has been fantastic. And they started off the season with a bang against Southampton, looking very, very charismatic in attack. They've got some proper attacking prowess. I'd have to say their attack of Son, Harry Kane, Kulusevski, it's up there in the Premier League. Now that Liverpool don't have Mane, I don't know where I'll put. It's still potent attack. City, Erling Haaland, obviously, but City don't really have like a front 3. You can say they're just an awesome team. Spurs attacking 3 up front, and then you have the players that they've got in the bench in terms of Richarlison. That's a strong attacking lineup. For me, probably one of the best one in Premier League, if not in Europe as well. So look, I know what we're coming up against. And Antonio Conte, he ain't messing about. He ain't messing about. And we should know very well all about Antonio Conte. This guy's a serial winner. He's won with us. He's won with Juventus. He's won with Inter Milan. And now he's in the mission to win with Spurs. And someone's saying that they could possibly, push the front 2. But let's see what happens. It is at Stamford Bridge. I want to just showcase to you, the history of the Tottenham. They, they've not beaten us since Thomas Tuchel took over from Chelsea, at Chelsea. They've not beaten us. So Tuchel took over from just a bit before 4th February 2021. 1-0 victory for Chelsea, 3-0 victory for Chelsea, 2-0, 1-0. In fact, Spurs haven't even scored against Thomas Tuchel. I don't want to jinx it. I feel like this is probably the time when they're going to score against us. And it's been a while since they last actually beat us. As you can see there, 1-0. I know there was this 1-1 here in the Carling Cup when they went through in penalties recently, but it's 2019, 8th January. You can't even see it in my screen. There you go. 1-0. So it's been a while since they last won. And apparently their record in Stamford Bridge. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like one win in the last, like, God knows how many years, like many, many years. So look, we know the stats, we know the record, we know the form, but I'm buzzing. I'm still buzzing. The way I look at this particular game, yes, their attack far superior than us. Far superior than us. There's no doubts about that. When you've got attack of Harry Kane, Kulusevski, Son, and Richarlison off the bench, there's no matching that. We can't match that. For us, it's just Sterling. Everyone else is, please, I'm praying to God that they show up. But it's our midfield and it's our defense that I feel is definitely our defense is superior than theirs. And for sure, I think our midfield is better than theirs as well. And no disrespect to Bentancur and Højbjerg and whatnot. They're very good midfielders. But I feel like our midfielders are quite capable of holding the position. And this is what we need to do. We need to control this match. We cannot have Spurs see too much of the ball. I'm pretty certain Spurs are going to play on the counter. Classic Antonio Conte style. It's not like they're going to sit deep and park the bus, not that kind of stuff. They will still play football, but predominantly they'll allow us to have the ball and they'll try and hit us with pace with their front players in counter-attack. And how we manage those counter-attack, this is exactly what Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference, ladies and gentlemen, that this is the thing. You got to sense the counter-attack before it even starts. The vibe I got from Thomas Tuchel in the press conference was that he wants to control the match and he wants to play quite high up. He wants to really box Spurs in. But at the same time, if we do lose the ball in critical places, which we are very well known to lose in critical places, to sense out the counter-attack before it even materializes. So this is what we've been saying when I've been doing those tactical shows with Ryan, with you guys, is that you got to anticipate that you may lose the ball and you have to have a structure set up to be able to win the ball back. And this is how Man City and Liverpool, they sense danger and they are capable of snuffing out danger very quickly. And Man City is probably the best at it at the moment. So that's that. In regards to injury front, ladies and gentlemen, Kovacic is injured. He's going to miss out on this particular match. This is the latest on him, and it was said in the press conference by Thomas Tuchel. Breaking Mateo Kovacic is out of the Spurs match with a knee injury, confirms Thomas Tuchel. His brother has been getting injured. I don't think a lot of people talk about this often enough. He consistently every season gets injured. The Mateo Kovacic knee injury is certainly not a new one. He had a strapping on it during the preseason tour and trained away from the first team group during the opening training sessions in Las Vegas. This is an interesting tweet from Alex Goldberg. If we hadn't had all of Kante's injury problems in the last few years, we'd be talking way more about Kovacic's. He's more or less been the definition of injury prone since 2019-20. What a shame. Do you know what? I have to agree with that. Every season he's missed a sizable amount of matches here and there. Last season as well, earlier on, he missed some games. Later on, he's missed some games. I think the season before that, when we were in the FA Cup final, we were in the FA Cup final last season as well, but the one against Leicester, I remember he was injured on that particular season as well. And this injury situation, a player of his caliber, we can't have a stop-start situation with him. Need him to be fit as long as we can keep him. And this is what Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference as well, ladies and gentlemen, that maybe now it's time to focus on Kovacic, in the recovery room, in the medical room, really focus on getting him fit. Let's not put enough stress on him to get back into training straight away. It's earlier in the season. We have a lot of midfielders, Chukwuemeka could get an opportunity now in midfield to come through. I fully expect Jorginho and Kante to play this particular match. They've had a whole week off, obviously. Chukwuemeka to probably feature as well off the bench. There's players like Conor Gallagher. So, look, we've got cover. And I think we need cover. A lot of people talk about Conor Gallagher possibly leaving, XYZ players leaving as well. The way Kovacic, Kante, wait till Kante starts. I touch wood. Do you know what I mean? That Kante doesn't get injured, but he's got history as well. Jorginho cannot be playing all the time. So, we don't want to be in this mess where we are short on these midfielders. So that's a little bit about that. And the last thing that I want to talk about before we go into our, lineup, my lineup, not really a predicted lineup, the lineup that I want to see actually, we'll do that. And I'll also showcase what Spurs, what possible lineup you could see from Spurs. But this is another interesting point to look into in regards to Raheem Sterling as a false nine. He's already given us that impression that perhaps Sterling is going to feature in that position, and I've got no issues with that. In fact, I think for this particular team, that's probably Sterling's best position for the timing until we get, if we do add more attackers up front. Tuchel, I think Sterling should play on the last line or between the defensive lines or drive towards the last line. He was very good in training in the free role as a number 9 and dropping into half spaces. It's such a lot of quality that there are many spaces to use him. Further goes on to say he's very dangerous. He came late on our preseason and things are not finished. But one thing is clear, the kind of impact he has mentally and physically is huge, no matter where he plays. I mean, look, Sterling recently in the press conference as well, not that press conference, I think the press conference day before yesterday when he had his little press conference, he said, he likes playing on the left side, but he doesn't mind playing in the middle, as a false nine. I recall that match against Udinese where he played that brilliantly, allowing Mason Mount and Havertz to run. He falls into those pockets of spaces and finds those passes to those guys. It's just those players, Mount and Havertz, they've got to put those shots away. Look, I'm not sure if I would start Havertz, so that's another different story. Let's get into the lineup. Let's get straight into the lineup, how I would play this out. As much as I don't want to start Havertz, maybe I might have to. I would like to see Broha, because Thomas Tuchel sort of given us an indication that Raheem Sterling could be a false nine. Look, in goalkeeping position, undoubtedly Mr. Mendy, who's also nominated for the Yassin Trophy for the Ballon d'Or. That Ballon d'Or list looks unbelievable. Some crazy names in it. I don't know how some of these play, but anyway, that's a different story. In the LCB position, Koulibaly, there is no news that he's injured or anything like that. He did leave the field against Everton, but looks like he's back. I need him back and running in this particular team. Thiago Silva, a whole week off. I need him starting as well. He was the best defender for us against Everton, along with Koulibaly. In the RCB position, now, here's the twist for me. Reece James, as he's slowly coming into the frame, I don't think he's still ready to be a right wing back. He looked so sleepy against Everton, it was borderline embarrassing. In fact, it was embarrassing. I would like to see him play as a RCB. I don't know about Aspie or even Chalobah. As much as I like Chalobah, he will get game time. But Aspie definitely against Son on that side will struggle. And if any time Kulusevski or Son, interchange, which they don't, Kulusevski is strong on that left side. We got to, look after that brother, man. I'm telling you, I'm very worried about Kulusevski. He's turned out to be a fine acquisition for Spurs. That left foot of his, he can score goals, he'll take on his man, and he can, assist as well. Son, for me, against Aspie, could be a bit of a nightmare. I want to play Reece James there. In the right wing back position, you're asking me, who are you going to go there? It is going to be Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Yes, it is going to be Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The reason why, he's not played bad in that position in recent times. Last season, we saw against Real Madrid, we saw against Southampton. Yeah, he will have a lapse here and there, but he needs to focus as well. The reason I want to play Ruben Loftus-Cheek, at least this guy will have that robust, pace. He will take his man on. He gets into these sort of areas to score goals. He'll get into these areas to whip in crosses. I want to make sure we have an attacking outlet to scare Spurs as well. I can't allow Spurs to sort of dictate terms with their attacking players. We need to be able to push back their wing backs with our attacking qualities. So for me, Ruben Loftus-Cheek on that side, 100% Cucurella. Cucurella has to start for me. No disrespect to Ben Chilwell, no need to rush him. He's still slowly coming back into it. I think that match against Everton, even he doubted himself whether he was fit or not, even though he said to Thomas Tuchel, yeah, Gaffer, I think I'm ready. I would like Cucurella start. 15 minutes or whatever we saw of Cucurella against Everton, my days, that was electric. I need Cucurella to play in that left side and add some pace and impetus and move the ball quick. it's going to be very, very essential. We'll have a look at that Spurs lineup that they had against Southampton. I want to hurt them in those wing-back position because I feel like their wing-backs, yes, they bomb up, but they can be hurt. They can be hurt. That's their weak point as well, and their defense as well. I know they've recently done okay, really good with those players, but for me, that's where we need to hurt them. Up front, it's probably going to be on the left side. I don't want to, if we do start Havertz, I was contemplating starting Broha, but I'm changing my mind now because it looks like it'll be Sterling up front as a false nine. I don't want to see Havertz on the left. I'd rather see Havertz on the right. I think on the right, this is where he feels more comfortable. This is where it all started for him back in Bayer Leverkusen as well, on the right side, sort of right midfielder with his left foot. Not like Hakim Ziyech style, but, at least he feels more comfortable with, taking the ball from the right and then opening his body up with his left. Mount as well similarly looks better on the left. All the time Mount has played, he's looked better. Not that he can't do a job on the right. We've seen him score from the right as well, but I think on the left he feels a lot more natural. Cook around Mount is something that I want to see as well. Sterling up front, undoubtedly this guy is going to be our hero, to be honest. He's the one who's going to cause all the havoc. I need him to drop in these areas at times, come into these areas and really link up with also the wing backs as well. So for me, Sterling is our most important player up front. And look, I did think of having Broha, but I've changed my mind. It's only because Sterling, I probably would have gone with maybe a 3-5-2 scenario with perhaps Broha up front and Mount just behind them. But the way Thomas Tuchel's talking, I think it's going to be more or less false nine Sterling. This is what Thomas Tuchel's saying, that this is what they've trained in the training sessions. And this is what is probably going to happen, and I'm going to go with that. So this is more or less my lineup, and in the middle, obviously, it's going to be Jorginho and Kante with Kovacic injured. So that's my lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Mendy, Koulibaly, Silva, Reece James, Cucurella, Jorginho, Kante, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Mount, Sterling, Havertz. Let me know how you feel about that lineup. Just to quickly show you guys, this was the lineup for Spurs last weekend when they spanked Southampton 4-1. Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Davis. Romero is a very good defender, no doubt about that. Dyer and Davis, they're capable of making mistakes. I know in recent times Dyer hasn't. Emerson, Sessegnon as the wing-backs. Look, I know Antonio Conte does madness with his wing-backs. We know all about Victor Moses, what he did with us. I don't want to disrespect Emerson and Sessegnon, but I feel like we need to pin them back. We have to attack those both flanks and also get in on the defenders. Benteke and Højbjerg, very, very good midfielders, no doubt about that. It's that attack. Look at that attack. Kulusevski, Harry Kane, and Son. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen my lineup. You've seen what Spurs are probably going to bring to us. We've talked about this particular match. I'm buzzing. I'm hoping. Do you know what? I'm confident. I'm confident we can probably get a result at home. The home crowd's going to be buzzing. We're going to be buzzing. We're going to be here doing the watch-along. I think maybe we can get a 1-0 victory here. Maybe we can get a 1-0 victory. Our defense is our strongest suit. Their attack is their strongest suit. So maybe it'll just balance things out and maybe we can nick a goal. It's not like we go out there and score heaps of goals, but maybe if we can just score one, that should be good enough. 1-0 victory for Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel carries on with his clean slate against Spurs and also against Antonio Conte since Tuchel took over and since Conte took over at Spurs. And yeah, that would be good. Look, anything less than a win, if it's a draw, I can live with it. No doubts about it. It's not something we should aim. We should go for a win. But if it's a draw, I'm okay. I suppose it's earlier on in the season. It's not a nightmare. But if it's a loss, I think it could be a long, long week. You don't want to lose earlier on, and yeah, it could potentially spiral badly. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about this match. We've done our preview. I'm buzzing. Let's do this. Hopefully, we get the victory. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see you.